Okay, guys, I'll be real. A couple of those scares had me a little like this. But, guys, I cannot wait to talk about The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. I'm Leo Rydell. Welcome to Geekly Goods. And before we dive into this review, hook your boy up with that HBO special. Y'all know what that is? That's the Help a Brother Out special. Hit that subscribe button, ding that bell, and hit like on this video for videos on the latest in movies, TV shows, with a little sprinkle of anime and gaming in there as well, you guys. Now let's review The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. In this movie, which is the third installment in the Conjuring series and the 8th movie as a whole, the Warrens investigate a murder that may be linked to a demonic possession. The movie is directed by Michael Chaves and it stars Patrick Wilson, Vera Farmiga, Rory O'Connor, Sarah Catherine Hook, Julian Hilliard, and John Noble. So let's start out with what works for The Conjuring 3. Now what works is Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson. They bring that same great energy that they brought from the first two, and I love that first one. I think it is a horror movie staple, and they bring that same energy back to every single movie they're in, and I love them in this movie. The chemistry is real, and of course they are investigating, and they are just so curious and dive the deepest dives to get the answers, guys. So I love the two of them together, and I think that they always do such a great job. So I mean, seriously, they're the two that really keep bringing me back to the Conjuring movies, because to be honest, I haven't watched any of the Annabelle films, so there's that. But I have watched The Nun, and I've watched the 3 Conjuring movies, and I love the two of them, and they make this franchise for me, because I'll be real, that Nun movie, y'all, what a dud. But the two of them, absolutely excellent. Another thing that works is there are some good scares here, and there are a couple of different frights that really get me rocking in my seat a little bit, y'all. Like a little nervous for what's gonna happen. I thought the figure that was used in this movie, the lady, was really scary. I thought that there were some scary motifs, and the demonic possession stuff is always extremely scary to me, especially when their bones are cracking and they're like tussling around. Man, that stuff really makes me nervous, like really makes me nervous. So I was definitely on the edge of my seat, very scared. Didn't manage to do the hand over eyes thing, but guys, I was definitely quite nervous. And this third one really delivers on the fear factor, in my opinion. I really thought it was pretty scary. So those two things were strong about the movies, but let's talk about what doesn't quite work about the film. So unfortunately, this is the weakest of the trilogy in my opinion. While it's a fine movie, I do think that it does fall below the first and second. It is very hard to get to that first. I mean, performances were just at their top. The possessions and the demons were crazy. That first one is so hard to get to, but this one unfortunately doesn't deliver in a couple aspects. And the first one I want to talk about is the story. In my opinion, I really think it should have focused on Arnie and his possession of the demon that was possessing him and the curse that was put on. But unfortunately, I think the movie kind of veers away from that a little too much. There's one sequence in the movie where they venture into a forest that I just thought, okay, I get that it is a little bit of connective tissue to what's going on, but it took a little too long and it just dragged on a little much to me. And unfortunately, I will say the third act itself kind of drags on as well, so that hits on the pacing next. I think there are some scenes that just drag a little long, and that also attributes to the editing, because that was another problem I had. So I'll put them together in pacing and editing. And like I was saying, there are scenes that drag on too long, but maybe some scenes that just don't breathe quite as much that need to. And I thought the editing was very jarring, very jumpy cuts in the movie. So I was not really feeling that part. Really didn't like the story that much. And I really just, the last act, I don't want to spoil, but I just hoped that some characters got more screen time and more emphasis, and they didn't quite get it. So I Really wish I could come to The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It with a really great score, but if I had to give it a score out of 10, you all, I am going a 6.5 out of 10. I just think it is, unfortunately, the weakest in the franchise. And while there's some great scares, and of course, Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga do a great job together, I think the story, the pacing, the editing just really miss. In that final act, things just start to fall apart. But guys, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Are you going to watch The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It? And let me know which movie besides The Conjuring is your favorite out of the franchise, because there's the Annabelle movies. I almost said Abigail. There's the Annabelle movies. There is the Nun. There's La Llorona. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. But there are so many movies in this franchise at this point that it's almost like the Conjuring trilogy almost gets a little swallowed up. But guys, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button for your boy Leo Rydell, and we will see you next time on Geekly Goods.